Yeah. Welcome to X Marks the Spot podcast, episode 2. It's your boy XL, man, creator of Success Sundays at the legendary SOBs. And it's a pleasure to have this platform, a nigga tongue twisted. I was definitely lit. I'm still in Virginia. I had a couple of bottles of, my man said I had Jack Daniels. Shout out to them, cut that check. I had some Crown Royal and a couple of other things. But it's a pleasure to be in VA 757. I had to travel down here and come on, link up one of my brothers. I've known this man for quite some time. Very talented individual, creative soul, man. This guy, I've been a fan of a lot of the things he's done, low key. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to come off as a groupie and shit. So I had the opportunity to build a good relationship through the years, and finally we found a common ground. And we were able to put together the Road to SOBs showcase in Virginia for artists, for independent artists, to travel to New York, all expense paid, and get a chance to perform at a higher level. So with me right now, one of Chi-Town's own, GKnow, CEO of Flight 33.
What up? X Marks the Spot, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, man. So, I'm still working on my intros. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my intros right.
You're getting a lot better though, man.
Yeah. And I'm a little twisted. So for me to get a little, get some okay intro out of my system right now, I'm proud of myself because Jack Daniels.
What they say, a drunk heart speaks a sober tongue or something like that.
Facts. So I'm not lying right now. I'm speaking facts right now.
I appreciate the compliments, brother.
No, for sure, man. Me and you, we have a pretty interesting story. I met you on board the Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Correct.
Shout out to all the military out there. I'm gonna do my part to, no matter what I do, I'm always gonna make sure I'm gonna acknowledge that, because the military did a lot for me as a man. It transformed me. I went in there as a kid and I got out as a man. So I owe a lot of my growth to that experience, and I'm sure you probably can relate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I learned a lot of things in the military. I very much learned how to be humble amongst other things, but the biggest thing I learned how to be very humble while I was in the military. You know what I mean? So that's the self-discipline that I got from the whole situation.
So what part of Chicago are you from? Let's start right there.
Southside, but yeah, let's be clear, and I had to put this disclaimer out. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. So I moved to Chicago in the 90s, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm a transplant per se.
Where did you go to high school at?
What you mean, what city?
What city did you go to high school?
Well, I dropped out of high school technically, but Kansas City partially.
Okay, so
yeah, partially.
Your roots are in Kansas City.
Yeah, roots of Kansas City. Right. Made a person, Chicago.
You
know what I mean?
So Chi-Town molded you.
Chi-Town molded me.
Right,
That's the disclaimer that I wouldn't put out, because I think I would be doing people a disservice to not say that.
Indeed. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't have no clue.
A lot of people don't know.
For me, it's a fun fact.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know.
So that's dope, man. Yeah. I mean, that's the Midwest. So all of y'all ride together anyway.
The cultures of the two places are very different but very similar at the same time. You know what I mean?
How so? Like, what makes the difference? What stands out as
both of those cities are very dangerous cities, especially in comparison to the places I've been on the East Coast. And you don't really know it while you're in the middle of these places until you leave out. And just the politics of street mechanics and things around there, they're different. People respond to things in an extreme manner in those environments. You know what I mean?
So it's a very emotional area, because a lot of people, when you respond in a physical form, that means your emotions are not really under control. So there's a lot of emotional motherfuckers in that area. Is that what you're saying?
You could be emotional or intelligent. You know what I mean? Depending on what you're responding to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, so then you joined the military. What made you do that?
I was in Chicago at the time, and I was being progressive in life, but at the same time, I was in a situation to where I was dabbling in illegal activities, and at the same time, as well as dabbling in illegal activities, I just found myself being sucked into an element that I didn't care for per se. And just to put it in layman's terms, I was getting criminal activity with people, and the threat of violence. It became a situation where either I was going to get killed, kill somebody, or go to jail, and I didn't want that to happen. Mind you, at the same time, I'm still doing things, like I had my own t-shirt company out there, so I'm still progressing in life.
But you was always an entrepreneur in spirit.
Yeah, I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but it came to a point where I realized, like, I can get locked up and be a slave and not get paid shit at the rate that I'm moving. I might as well get out of here and still be moving with something lucrative, so I chose the military at the time. I've never been a military mind state. I never had a military mind state.
That's what kind of like fucked me up, because what fucked me up, once I got to know you, like your mind, the way that your mind is designed, it's not, you don't have that mentality, like a patriotic type. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't come
That's
off
exactly
as that.
why I told you, like, yo, the greatest lesson I learned was to be humble. Because, first I get to the military, I'm like, in my back of my mind, who the fuck is this dude talking to?
Right.
You know what I mean? I felt like I've already established more in life than what they were trying to tell me.
Right.
But I didn't have no option. And you're not in a position where you could tell somebody, like, yo, I know how to do this better than you. They're not trying to hear that. So I just I had to shut the fuck up and do what I had to do in the military. But it taught me that mechanism on the inside to be able to just shut the fuck up sometimes and roll with what it is. You know what I mean?
My first impression when I met you, right? I want to go back in memory, and I remember bumping into you. It was on I think we were just walking, and you came to the barbershop.
Right.
Or something. Yeah, I think you came into the barbershop.
Right.
And that's when we started kind of like talking, and then I got familiar with you and stuff like that. But when I really started kicking it with you was when I found out that you rap. You know what I'm saying? Like you was an artist. So I was like, okay, let me hear what he got to say, and then we put together a couple of things on a boat. Right. We did. We actually was having URL battles type of shit. You know what I mean? Like in storage spaces.
On the low.
Like, on the low. We started the whole wave, man, on doing these battles in storage units, storage spaces, and on board the ship. You was one of the ones that would come out, and you was like a mystique. Because niggas, it was hard to get you to pull up because I don't know, maybe you knew that you was nice, but you didn't want to like really.
Yeah, the thing with me, man, and being an artist in general, I knew I was nice, and I didn't want people to take me for a joke. And when I say joke, I didn't want to be the guy every time you see me like, yo, bus 16, like I'm just some fucking jukebox or something. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yo, the rapper dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was trying to avoid that, but
I get it because one time. We organized a battle, and I got to bring this shit up because I was tight. I was mad at you for a little minute because of this shit. Because we put together this battle in Portugal. We rented out a penthouse. Okay. In Portugal. Oh. Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Remember now, nigga. Remember that shit. So we rented a penthouse. We have a penthouse in Portugal, and we were supposed to orchestrate a battle. Like, who thinks about doing shit like that? Excel thinks about doing shit like that, doing battle raps and penthouse suites in Portugal, right? Like that's some next level shit. But we put that thing together. You agreed that you was gonna come. Okay. I remember because that's one of the reasons why we were promoting it on the boat. Okay. We was telling everybody like, yo, Gino and Wright, meaning the other homie, the big homie
Big
Titan.
Shout out to Wright.
Yeah, shout out to Titan, man. He's out here in Jersey. I mean, he's out here in VA, but he's from Jersey. He's out in VA doing his thing. Yeah. But so, and he won, it was a battle between both of you guys. So a lot of people was like, yo, I'm gonna come see it, come check it. And then, you didn't show up. So I was kind of like curious, why? What happened? I don't want to use the world stage.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. No, put me on the spot. Look, I'm an open book.
Go ahead.
You put me in Portugal for 5 days with a pocket full of money. The last thing I want to do is go somewhere and battle rap. I'm gonna be going somewhere drinking. I'm gonna be shopping and shit like that.
I get it.
At the moment, I don't recall why I would have had just laid flat out stiffed you if that's what happened. But I do remember like, man, I'm tired of being like the rapper dude. You know what I mean? I do remember feeling like that. You know what I mean? But my best explanation in hindsight, I would say, shit, we in Portugal.
Okay, now I get it. I get it. But at the time, I was like, yo, because everybody was like, oh, where Gino at? Because Titan was there, like the whole, a lot of motherfuckers was there. Right. So niggas like, yo, when we gonna start this battle? And I'm like, yo, I don't know. And back then niggas didn't really have cell phones and shit like that. So it's not like I could just call you. Right. But it was like, we don't know. We didn't know where you was. So it is what it is. But that was like one of the moments that
I apologize for that, brother.
Thank you. I mean, apparently the apology has been accepted because we're doing business now at the next level, right? But it was just something I had to bring out.
I forgot all about that.
Nah, my nigga, don't forget. I'm gonna remind you. That shit was like, nah, why the fuck you would do that? But because it was just something different. Like for us, it was like, yo, we doing a battle in a penthouse in Portugal. Like niggas got bragging rights. Like no one's ever done that. Right. And we've done battles in penthouses in Dubai. Like niggas don't do that. Like these are the things that we like to do in live wire with the company and stuff like that. We want to take things to the extreme level and do things in a fashion in which it'll stand stand out and make a statement.
Right.
And at the time, we wanted to do make a statement because you was one of the best artists on the boat.
Right.
And Titan, he was claiming to be one of the best at the time. So I was like, fuck it, might as well put both of them up there and let it be a,
And
nice
another thing, man, I've never been a fan of battle rap. On the boat, I went into those storage spaces and I did my thing. I didn't like people in general at that time, and I didn't really know anybody. So it was easy to go in there with the, you know what, fuck you attitude, when it comes to the battle approach. But as an artist, I'm one of those artists that have that thing where I never actively pursue sharing my music. I have a genuine passion for the craft, and I've always had a genuine passion for the craft. Right. So I never even viewed myself as a commodity or a product of a rapper at that time per se. You know what I mean?
That being said, right, we're gonna fast forward now because you've done a lot of music, but your music is not available just anywhere.
Right.
And just recently, you released a single called "Faded."
Correct.
And I'm a big fan of that track. And you released it on social media. You've seen the reaction of the people. How's it feeling right now? How you feel right now about the release of this one single you got going?
It feels great, man. It feels great to have people be receptive to anything that you put out. As an artist. I take a lot of time with what I do, and I put a lot of thought into it. So when that thought is projected in the proper manner, it always feels good. You know what I mean? I'm getting a great response from this, even on a personal level. Like I have friends that inbox me like, "Yo, this song touched me on a personal level. Like I've been dealing with weight problems, or I've been dealing with identity problems, and I don't hear artists that present this type of message in their music that resonated with me." So when I hear shit like that, I'm like, "Yo, G, you got to put more things out." Because for me, when I made the song, it was more like labor. It was more like routine. Like, yo, make a song about this. And me as a person, I already can tap into these particular things because these are things that resonate with me. So I had no wait for the siren. I had no idea that it would resonate with other people like that. But yeah, it definitely feels good, man.
All right, so let's walk me through the concept, the process, right? We're gonna deconstruct the whole track, the whole record. That's dope. And walk me through the first verse, right?
Okay.
I want to know like what space got you there.
What space got me there? When I heard Brianna Marin, shout outs to Brianna Marin who totally laced the hook
she
for
killed
the Faded
it too.
joint.
Yeah, she killed it.
The words that were being repeated were the words faded. So when I thought of faded, I thought of colors. When I thought of colors, I thought of complexions. When I thought of complexions, I thought of skin complexions. So automatically I thought about the name Issa Rae, who's a dark-skinned woman. And then I thought about the dynamics of dark-skinned women in Hollywood. So when you hear the line, hoping her skin complexion goes from Issa Rae to Lisa Rae, it's like the balance of the two. Lisa Rae is a very, high yellow, per se, quote-unquote, black woman versus a dark-skinned black woman. Right. And there you have these two dynamics. So even though that's at the bottom of the first verse, that was the first thing that I thought of. So everything else is wrapped around that. That's kind of like the skeleton and the premise, and then I put the meat in there to build up towards that. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. And the second verse on that track, like what space you was at? Like what motivated that second verse? Because you said a lot.
Yeah, I said a lot. One thing that I noticed on social media is that there'll be young ladies who are popular on IG or Facebook, and they'll have thousands of likes or hundreds of likes when they're posing, exposing themselves. And then I see those same young ladies, a day later, they can mention something in the post about what's on their mind, and it's like 0 likes. Like nobody respects them for their mind and shit. You know what I mean? Which is fucked up.
It is.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking about in the second verse of Faded. Like, how does that feel on the inside? What does that do to them psychologically when they see that the world and society doesn't accept them for anything but their physical attributes?
That's real. And you know what? It's funny that, and I asked you to break it down because I was hoping that you would not mention the fact that you listen to Kendrick Lamar. Because I was like, I hope Kendrick ain't had nothing to do with what you did. And the reason I'm mentioning Kendrick is because Kendrick took a lot of flack when he dropped the song Humble.
Okay.
Right? And he mentioned something about stretch marks and things of that nature on black women. He says, look, I love women with stretch marks. I will fuck you with my polo socks or some shit like that.
Right, I remember that line.
Right, but everybody was like, oh, Kendrick on some bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's against women that want to, change their body or whatever. He never really said that. But he said it, he took some flack for it. But it's something that we all feel like, yo, it's true. Like, I don't give a fuck about your fake titties or your fake ass. Like,
we don't.
You know what I'm saying? So when I listen to Faded, it kind of like took me back to that zone of just, yo, I would love to be able to talk to a woman that appreciates her beauty for who she is naturally. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was just the mind state that your track Faded put me into, which is the same that line that Kendrick mentioned.
Right.
It put me in that mind state as well. It's like, yo, word, like I would still fuck a shorty with stretch marks. Like
shout outs to Kendrick Lamar, of course. But yeah, I actually would prefer a natural woman. You know what I mean? But I think even in 2017, it's selfish of me as a man to try to project what I prefer. Because women don't give a fuck what you prefer. They're going to do what makes them feel good.
True.
You know what I mean? And we put them in a compromising position when we get on here and say, you know what? You don't need to get those implants. You're beautiful without that.
Right.
To a lot of women, that's insulting. Like, nigga, I don't need you to tell me I'm beautiful.
Right,
I knew
that's
that,
true.
but I feel like I'm still beautiful with the silicone in my chest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
let me ask you, what took you so long to finally release a song like Faded?
In general, what took me so long to actively pursue music, man, is a mixture of a few things, but I think one of the things is a fear of success, because internally, I think a lot of true artists know what they have and they know what they can offer, and it's like, do I want that? Like, you know, when I say want that, quote unquote, it's more than just saying I'm making a song and people buy my music. There's a lot of shit in the industry that comes with the industry.
Right.
There's a lot of stress. So you think about money, you think about the acquisition of money. People get money because they want to enhance their quality of life, right?
Right.
But you really already have all that shit you're trying to chase. Just like the book, The Alchemist, that tell you, you know what I mean? You get to the end of this road and you find out like, yo, I gave up a lot of shit for the shit I already had.
Right.
Like, you know, we in the crib or whatever right now. Like, this shit is peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to go out of town, I can go out of town. If I want to travel somewhere, if I want to eat something, I can do all these things I can do with $1 million. I can do right now on this particular scale.
Right.
Now you can go out and you can chase the $1 million and you can lose all this shit. You can lose your peace of mind.
Yeah.
You can be able to not go outside, walk without motherfuckers asking, yo, that's GKnow, like, go spit the 16.
Right.
Or I like this song, or I hated that song, everywhere you look, you know what I mean? So those are the things that I wrestle with in my mind for a long time. Like, do I want that, or do I not want it?
So where is your mind now?
I want that shit. I don't want the things that I just talked about,
Okay.
but I want to make a stamp in the world of art. And notice I say the world of art. I don't say the world of hip hop, because
Right.
I don't want to be categorized as a rapper. I feel like my approach to things are a little different. I approach things as an artist. So I would like to be looked at as an artist, and for that particular reason as well, because I don't want to be on your what's the name of the website? Your shade room and shit like that. Don't
Right.
put me in that category. I'm different. Like, listen to my music differently. You know what I mean? Know that I'm not trying to be anything. I just am what the fuck I am. You know
You're
what I
an
mean?
artist. You're an artist.
I'm an artist.
So, and you don't have to compromise yourself to gain value with your art.
Exactly.
So I get it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And shout out to Paulo Coelho, because I did, my wifey actually had me read The Alchemist.
Yeah, that's the only book I read in one day.
Pretty good book. I didn't read the whole thing, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
read most of that
Oh,
shit.
yeah, no doubt.
But I know who the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
All right, Warrior of the Light is another dope book by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, not Paulo Coelho. Like, you know, great guy, man. But at this point, I like what you doing in the way that you are presenting your art. You know,
Thank
you're very calculated though, man. Like that kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like, how do you develop that skill? Because it's a skill to be calculated, to make these moves and
Trial and error. I'm all about aesthetics, and when you all about aesthetics, it's like you pay attention to the small details of things. So the same way how I just broke down to you how I created the verse and Faded, and like really the last part of the verse was in my mind happened first. So you take that same science with everything you do, and you have it's kind of like a puppet master. You have to be a puppet master of sorts with things. You can't just react and do things off impulse. You have to build up. People won't even respond to you the proper way if you think, yo, this is dope, let me just share it.
That's true. So how do you think hip hop is a young man's sport?
Not at all. Not at all. I think depending on the level of skill from the artist and their approach with it, in their mind they may think it's a young man's sport, but I have to be honest with you. I saw a glitch in the market like this. I grew up enthusiast of hip hop. Posters everywhere, cassette covers all around my floor. Every Tuesday I'm at the tape store, Source magazine, every issue, whole nine, right? So then I get to this particular age where I don't have shit to listen to. I don't like anything that's out. And it's a whole demographic and market of people just like me that ain't got shit to listen to. Of course we'll force ourselves to adapt because we'll say to ourselves like, yo, this is just a new wave. But even with a new wave, it's like you're not satisfying my hunger. It don't have to sound like the shit I grew up with, but it's not satisfying my hunger. So I notice like I only like the shit that I make. You know what I mean? And it has to be a market of people that are into the type of sound and the approach that I go for with it. You know what I mean? So I figured.
So what's in your top 5 right now in your
as
playlist?
Far as
in your top
my playlist?
5 playlists, like your top 5 songs that you have to listen to right now, aside from your own shit.
It'll definitely be something off of Rick Ross's latest album. I'm a fan of Rick Ross. I've always been a fan of Lupe Fiasco and his approach to music. I can't pinpoint particular songs because they switch up almost on a daily basis.
So, all right, let's say top 5 artists. Then.
Top 5 artists?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, Kanye West is always gonna be up there with me. Kanye West, Lupe Fiasco, Rick Ross. Let me think. Let me diversify my portfolio for y'all a little bit. I listen to Gucci Mane and the Migos, but when I listen to them, I don't listen to them as hip hop. I listen to them it sounds like a modern version of the blues to me. The progression and the subject matter and just the rhythm and shit and the bounce. It seems like blues, old Southern blues infused with hip hop, with heavy bass and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so when I listen to it like that, it sounds even better to me.
Okay.
Like when I listen to T-Shirt, like yo, these is the grandchildren of those old blues players. You know, that shit sound dope. Like they redid the blues.
Right.
You know
That's
I mean?
an interesting outlook, man. I mean, I'm like you as far as when it comes to hip hop. I respect the culture of hip hop, you know. But when I see certain people kind of like disrespect the culture, at least in my opinion, because we were taught that the culture of hip hop should be a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And then when you see someone else come into the game and they start doing all of these fucking gimmicks and this monkey shit, right? And then you're like, yo, that's not hip hop. Why they calling that shit hip hop? And it's almost becoming a circus. At first, we always knew that hip hop at some point is entertainment. Yes, it is. You know, it's cool. But now it's just ridiculous. It's like, yo, my nigga, why you doing that shit? So I see, and this nigga DJ Academics. You know, I follow him on YouTube because he does from time to time cover some good stuff.
Right.
But he's just. And
Shout out Academics, you know.
Shout out to Academics, but I'm gonna say it here because this nigga he be pissing me off. He be riding niggas' dicks, bro. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like stop Academics.
Right.
Like, you already in a position. Stop riding dicks. You know what I'm saying? And do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
So this extension nigga, how do you pronounce that nigga?
Extension, I believe.
That guy, right? So.
Right.
And I'm gonna mention him, because you know, I don't like what the fuck he's doing for the culture.
Right.
Yeah, you know, there are certain things that he might have some problems personally, whatever the case may be. I get it, but don't go out here, man, and you know, and mislead people for the sake of getting attention.
Yeah, you know
what?
That's what he's doing. I think we're in a very interesting space because with the internet, everybody is focused on branding themselves and everybody treats themselves as a corporation, so they kind of follow corporate rules, but I don't think people are able to differentiate between someone marketing and someone actually being themselves. So for the youth, when they see an artist like Extension, a lot of things he does are for shock value.
Right.
And you know, just if you judge the market, you could put out a song, it could be the most beautiful, well put together song, whatever. Nobody's gonna pay attention to it unless it's something they don't fucking like about it. You know what I mean? Nobody's sharing shit on the internet like, yo, look, I really like this song, check it out. It's more so like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's giving oral sex to an M16, look at it. And then everybody's like, yeah, this is absurd, look at it. And then everybody's sharing it, so now he has 2 million views. So now Atlantic Records is looking like, oh, he got 2 million views. Because they don't give a fuck about the music, They give a fuck about the views. So now a whole dynamic of the music industry changes because it's all about the views because that's what makes the dollars. So now when the artists come up and they try to make music, they know like I got to get these views. I got to do some absurd shit that pisses people off. So really, the music industry is becoming a whole troll industry of young trolls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
is that the, I guess that's how far we've come with hip hop. Are you disappointed or are you enlightened?
No, I'm
how
glad.
do you feel about the direction that the whole culture took from where we started to where we at now with niggas like extension, whatever that nigga name is?
It's in my best interest to be objective and not subjective, but I will say I'm glad they doing it because it gives me space to keep it real, and now I have a market for my shit. I hope everybody do that dumb shit. Well, I don't even want to call it dumb. Pardon me, but I hope everybody does that.
But we just want to be honest on this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're gonna speak our mind. That's the reason we created this platform.
Yeah, I mean,
so
nothing he does I would listen to, but I don't think he's even trying to market to me as like my demographic. But I wouldn't listen to any of that. You know what I mean? Nothing he's done up to this point has caught my interest, shall I say?
But when it comes to you as an artist, if you see an artist like that, and if he was in a position to do something, what would be your reaction?
When you say, am I in a position to do something?
If you were in a position, hypothetically, to say, you know what, I could probably do a collab with homie and have him jump on this track, and I'll just make a conscious record and put him in, try to put him in an environment where, he could really show me if he's talented, type of thing.
If it makes sense, I don't know. I wouldn't ever want to do anything that would compromise my integrity, you know what I mean, of what I believe, my direction of which I want to go and what I would want to infuse psychologically to my people and my culture. I couldn't answer that until that time would come.
Okay.
Will I sell out for money? No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, but you know what? A lot of times, people that are confident, right? People that they stand firm in who they are, and it's like, yo, I can walk into any room, type of feel, right? And people will acknowledge my presence. So when you have that level of confidence, and you see someone like a new generation artist doing certain things, and since you're in a position of confidence, you can say to yourself, yo, you know what, maybe I can help. It's not compromising anything, it's just more saying, if I collaborate with this artist, maybe I can inspire the artist to actually start looking at a different angle.
Yeah, I think it'll work two ways. He might share something with me that I didn't look at from a particular angle and be like, oh, I get it. But for us, we have a lot of reference points in our mind that help us decide what's good and what's bad. Like they don't know what the fuck Only Built for Cuban Links is. That they wasn't around for these classic great albums and these examples. So it's not even in their, it's not even in their mind at all. So when they create something, T-Pain was probably on the radio majority of the time while he was a child. So this is the foundation of music. Not to say T-Pain is a bad artist. I'm just saying this is around the time where
I like T-Pain.
T-Pain got some nice songs, but this is around the time where the sound of music was really, really starting to change, and it became like auto-tune after that, and then it became something else, but it was all fostering from, something like around that T-Pain era. So he might have been a very young child at that time. So
that's true.
That's Kumo D to him. T-Pain is Kumo D to him.
Yeah, When are we expecting the visuals for Faded?
I want to say sometime around the first quarter of next year. I have a lot of people who are interested. I'm not going to name drop, but shout out to them. They know who they are. Who are interested in assisting with the treatment and putting some things together to make the best visual as possible. You know what I mean? I definitely want the visual to match the quality of the record. So I'm not going to just point out anything when it comes to Faded. There's been a lot of young ladies who made Faded selfie videos and submitted it to me. You know what I mean? I shared those online.
So you have the Faded challenge going on right now?
Yeah. Actually, it already ended. And shout out to Larima Davis, daughter of Larry Davis, and also a published author herself. Okay. She actually won the Faded challenge. You know what I mean?
Get out
with
of
the
here.
most,
Straight
straight from the BX, from your neck of the
hood.
woods.
All right, that's what's up, man. Shout out to definitely everybody that's supporting the movement. I'm proud to see that. And one of the motivations behind me starting this podcast is because I realize that I have some incredible friends,
right?
People that I can call friends, such as yourself and amongst other people.
You, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I have some amazing people in my circle, man. I need to sit down and talk to them, but do it in a larger space as far as the platform.
Right.
Because we've had conversations before,
right,
off camera or off whatever, right?
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of jewels shared.
Likewise,
so,
yeah.
Now it's like, yo, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's see what we can offer to at least our culture.
Right.
So that being said, do you feel responsible for for what's going on around us? Do you feel the need to make a difference?
Most definitely. I feel like whether you want to be or not, you're always going to be a role model. And I speak because music changed my life. I've learned more from golden era 90s hip hop music than I did in school. And I'd be a liar if I told you different. School told me, the books, the systematic things that you need to know about this world. But as far as like life, it opened up the door to let me know there was more. It came from these cassette tapes and these CDs and things of that nature. So I'd be lying to my younger self if I were to sit here and say that I'm not responsible to an extent for how people perceive my art or perceive me and what I share and project to the world. You know what I mean? Look at the way, I put it this way. You go to the mall right now, you'll see somebody who looks like Extension. You'll see somebody who looks like Drake. You'll see somebody who looks like Chief Keef. But before these artists were out, you never went to the mall and seen people that look like them because the music is an influence.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree. So when should we be expecting an album, like a complete project?
Well, my goal is to reach a large audience. I don't want to put out an EP or album and is only speaking to a limited amount of people. So the more the people get a grasp on what GKnow Buie is doing out here and with things like this podcast or whatever, then the album will come. You know what I mean? But I'm projecting sometime next year, definitely 2018.
All right, and you have everything in order to execute that idea.
Most definitely.
The team and everything is already in motion.
Well, yeah, the team can always get larger, so I can't say that everything is in order as far as the team, but as far as the vision and the ideas and how to execute, most definitely.
That's what's up. So where can we find some of your work, bro?
Find my work on GKnow Buie music page on Facebook for right now. You also can look me up on Instagram with GKB_music on IG. That's a brand new page. I just started maybe like 5 days ago because my old one, I didn't like it. It didn't look as clean as I wanted it. There's a lot of people on there, but I'm moving the traffic to my new IG. Is much more clean and things of that nature. Yeah.
Any SoundCloud?
Yeah, SoundCloud also, GKnow Buie Music, and that's spelled with a GKNOW because I know every fucking thing.
Yo, my brother, man, Gino, it's a pleasure having you on the podcast, man.
Likewise.
And you definitely, we're gonna have another sit down. I'm gonna make that happen because there's a lot more things I would like to touch on.
Most definitely.
So for now, let's just give the audience this little bit and have them looking forward to the next sit down with us, man.
All right,
Again, X marks the spot, man.
Peace.